Hello, guys. Welcome to the lovely Thursday stream where Mesomat is sick. I do not feel great. I am stuffy. My sore throat is here. I don't know how me and Rochelle both got sick, but we did. Our kiddo started school 2 days ago, and he's already bringing stuff home. Either that or it's allergies. I don't know which one. I take allergy medicine on a daily, so I shouldn't be feeling this way. But anyways, um, it's great. I feel like garbage today, but I still have to do my job. So that is how that works here. So I was making my video. If you guys watched my full video this morning, I was definitely struggle busting through that video. I'm drinking some tea. I've eaten some chicken noodle soup. I should be good. Um, but yeah, I'm here. I also apologize to you guys. I was supposed to do an update last night. I was in bed by 10 p.m. I was supposed to do an update at 10 p.m. I was in bed. I was asleep. I was gone. I took NyQuil. I was gone. So I don't know what's going on. If it's just that's the time of the year or what it is. But yeah, anyways. Alrighty, guys, we got to do a major tropics update. We got to talk. We got a lot of stuff going on in the tropics. We've got Tropical Storm Erin still spinning out here on a west slash maybe shift northwest now. We may be starting to finally see northwest movement out of this, which is good. A lot of things to still figure out, a lot of uncertainty still to figure out with Erin. And we've also got the potential for another system to make landfall in Texas tomorrow morning. So that kind of snuck up on us yesterday. We were watching this blob of thunderstorms over the Yucatan yesterday, ended up moving into the Gulf last night. It is sitting in the southern Gulf. It is ripe conditions out there. It does look to be that some of the ensembles are trying to simulate a tropical depression or tropical storm to move its way up towards Mexico and southern Texas, regardless of if it impacts or if it develops into a named storm or not. It is going to bring flooding rainfall to southern Texas once again. So we're going to talk about that, break all that down here as well. Welcome to tropical storm season or hurricane season, guys, where we have these beautiful symmetrical storms. I wouldn't really even say this is symmetrical right now. Here's what I want you guys to do, okay? Screenshot this. It's fine. You can screenshot this. Take a picture of this, and in about 3 days, this thing is going to look completely different. This is going to look like a monster Cat 3 plus hurricane in about 2 or 3 days just to the north of Puerto Rico. It is going to go from this to this impressive looking hurricane in the next couple of days. Maybe even Cat 4. Some of the models are still pushing Cat 5 status until we see intensification out of this rapidly. I don't think that's reachable. We're definitely going to probably reach Cat 4 status. Can't rule out Cat 5 status. The good news, besides all of the westerly trends that we saw yesterday with the ensembles and as well with the dermatistic runs, this is still supposed to move in between Bermuda and the East Coast. There are still going to be impacts on the East Coast. We still can't rule out a landfall. It's a very, very low chance of a landfall on the East Coast. If there were to be a landfall, it would be South Carolina or North Carolina. Some of the models have kind of shifted back east today, which is good. We are still in a la land right now. We're still trying to figure out what's going to happen right now with this system. So I only can give you guys information about 4 to 5 days out right now in terms of the cone. We can look at ensembles. A lot of the ensembles, like I said, have the recurve. Most of them all have the recurve. It's just how far west does this track before it starts to officially take that latitude strike to the northwest. So that's what we're trying to figure out. That's what we're trying to look at here. I do want to zoom in. Actually, I want to also... let me show you guys something else here really, really quickly here. We also have another wave that is coming off the coast as well here, starting to get some convection here. We have multiple tropical waves that are going to be coming off the coast here. So there are more storms that could form behind this. Right now, it's still a little far out to figure out what that's going to do. But there are more tropical waves. We are in hurricane season. We're going to continue to see these waves coming off the coast of Africa. It's going to be busy. We're going to be doing tropical updates every single day. So if you are in hurricane-prone areas, you need to be prepared for hurricane season because this is what we're going to be dealing with. Once again, zoomed up here, this is Tropical Storm Erin, about 15-mile-per-hour wind shy of Cat 1 hurricane status. This is expected to become a hurricane by later on tonight and early by tomorrow morning. We are already starting to see deep convection. You can start to see those pinks popping up. That means this is shifting to the north. We are starting to see a little bit of a tug to the north here now, finally, which is good. That's what the models were trying to simulate earlier. The further northwest we can get this thing, the better it would be. Lots of outer band cloud tops here as well ongoing with this system. A very healthy storm. It is in very favorable water temperatures. There's nothing that's really going to keep this storm from dying itself off. We're going to be looking at a major hurricane off the East Coast between Bermuda and between the East Coast by around Wednesday or Thursday next week. So, like I said, I don't know impact shed on the East Coast. We know there's going to be rip currents. We know there's going to be some swells. We know the waves are going to be very, very big off the East Coast. But until we get to that point toward the end of the weekend, I can't give you guys that information. I don't know what's going to happen. So, like I said, moving west, northwest right now, it is officially on a northwest track. You can start to kind of see it get yanked here with the convection to the north now. It was fighting off some significant dry air this morning. as well as some shear. It looks to be it's starting to overcome that. We should have a hurricane later on by this time tomorrow, Cat 1 status. And then it's going to rapidly intensify into a Cat 2, Cat 3 by Saturday. So we're going to probably watch this thing go from a Cat 1 tomorrow to a Cat 3 by Saturday afternoon. That's what the forecast calls for. So here is the latest update here. I'll pull this up. Once again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, 15-mile-per-hour winds shy of Cat 1 hurricane status. Pressure at 999 millibars, moving west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. This is our latest cone, both on the top left of your screen. I'll pull it up here. We are expecting that northward turn, but how far west does it go, or how far east if it goes? Big question mark here. So we could still go as far west as, brushing the East Coast. We could still go far as Bermuda. We could go in between there. This is why it's called the cone of uncertainty, because we have no idea where it's going to go after 5 days. Pretty certain on where it's going to go here, but how far south, how far north plays the biggest factor. If this were to stay further to the west and it stays lopsided to the west, we would have bigger issues for the Bahamas with the waves and all that stuff. Regardless, there's going to be issues because we're going to have a Cat 3 or Cat 4 hurricane just to the east of the Bahamas by next week. We got a lot of watching to do still. So that time frame is getting closer, which is good. Like I said, we're talking about a 5 to 10% chance of a landfall happening on the East Coast. I just don't see it happening right now. Unless I see some other things that trend it that way, then we'll start to bring that conversation up. But right now, it still looks like it's going to recurve out to sea. And like I mentioned, there's still going to be wave swells. Some ridiculous wave heights are being simulated on some of our model runs, pushing 30 and 40-foot waves off the East Coast. That's something we're going to have to watch, the rip currents. So if anybody has beach plans this weekend on the East Coast, I'm going to tell you right now, that's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to be allowed to get in the water because we're going to have double red flags up the whole coast, probably from Florida all the way up to the Northeast. So if you're on the beach trip this weekend or you're planning on going to the beach, you might want to relook at that for the following week because we are going to have most of those beaches more than likely closed going toward the weekend. So when you have a major hurricane off the East Coast, even though it might be 50 to 100 miles off the east, it's still going to cause beach erosion and it's still going to cause ridiculous wave heights, especially with this being the strength that it's supposed to be at by the time we get towards next week. So a lot of things to look at. Let me give you guys an update here on our latest ensembles. Let me see if our GFS or if our European loaded all the way in. Okay, European has loaded in. So here's what I want you guys to see. Yes, this is more than likely going to be going out to sea. It's not official yet, but there's still a little bit of difference here on where this is going to go. You still got some models trying to go to the Bahamas, 2 or 3. Most of these agree on a recurve, but how far does that recurve happen? When does that recurve happen? That is the big question mark. If this recurves further towards Bermuda, we'll have less impacts toward the East Coast. If this goes west of Bermuda or central in this between the split here of the East Coast, we're going to see some more significant impacts. So it's all dependent on where this goes. We've got a high pressure over here to the east that's weakening. We've got a high coming up here into the northern plains, and we have a low that's basically going to come down here and swoop this thing up is what's going to happen. So when does that recurve happen? Where does the recurve happen at? Question mark. We still got to get those questions answered, guys. So probably on Sunday, I will have a better answer for you guys on what's going to happen along the East Coast. So about 2 more days, within the next 48 hours, we'll have a lot more questions answered. I'm going to do another live stream update for you guys tonight around 10 o'clock Central Time. That's when we will do the update tonight. I'll have also another update for you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing 2 live streams a day. We also, speaking of live streams, we will be live early tomorrow morning covering the landfall of what will be our tropical system over here into the east portions of Mexico and Texas. If you are in southern Texas, you need to be ready to go here for a tropical depression or potential tropical storm. There will be flooding impacts from what will be our system Invest 98L down there. We'll talk more about that here in just a second and what that looks like because those give us impacts first. And then I want you guys to also see we got another wave that's coming off the coast here as well that's going to start to kind of meander this direction going into next week. So just because Erin may not be making landfall in the United States doesn't mean that hurricane season is over with and we can all close our books. We still have 75 to 80% of the season left to go, guys. And I'm telling you guys with what the ensembles and what the models are putting out, it looks like it's going to be pretty active as we go toward the month of September. So expect that as we get into peak hurricane season. So we may get lucky on this one per se. Some people may not get lucky. Some people may get lucky. But we still have a ways of the way to go. We had Hurricane Milton in October last year and Hurricane Helene happened at the end of September last year. So just because one misses doesn't mean they're all going to miss. Hopefully they all miss, but you guys get what I'm saying on that. So that is the latest European ensembles. The GFS ensembles also agree with an out-to-sea curve a little bit closer. And this is what I'm a little bit concerned about here is we do have some of that guidance leading towards a little bit of a closer system. This would kind of be worst case scenarios if we had the Icon model be right or some of these other AI models that we're going to be potentially an issue. But you can see the difference here once again on where this could go. How far west does it go? How far east does it go? A lot of uncertainty. You're still talking about a 600 to 700 mile spread in your ensembles here, and that's over 6 to 7 days out. So, like I said, if you guys are in Florida, I'm going to tell you right now, we are not going to have a landfalling storm in Florida more than likely. You were talking like you have a better chance of going to get a lottery ticket or a scratch off and probably winning that. The odds of a landfalling storm in Florida right now are not going to be there with you guys. Not saying that can't happen in South Carolina or North Carolina because that recurve is what matters. But right now, we're not going to see that happen. There will be rip currents, there will be waves, but once again, I do not expect a landfall. I'm not officially calling this a fish storm either, because things can happen. Things weirdly can happen. We saw this happen with Florence and OA, and we've seen other storms supposed to recurve and they don't. But there's pretty good agreement here that we're going to see a recurve. So I'm confident in it. We'll see what happens over the next 2 or 3 days as this continues to trend west or northwestward. But right now, I'm pretty confident in there being a recurve. But impacts toward the East Coast. Hold on one second. Impacts to the East Coast are a little bit on the question mark there. Give me 1 second. Let me go take care of her. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Our kiddo runs out of those baby puffs that she eats, and she pitches a fit. Jesus. All right. As I was saying, like I said, there's going to be United States impacts along the East Coast, regardless of where this goes, how far it tracks. It's just how major are those implications. And like I said, we won't get those answers probably until Sunday or Monday. So if you're on the East Coast, have your preparation plans in place, know your hurricane plans, know your tropical, whatever you call it, plans. This more than likely will hopefully miss a landfall, but there are still going to be impacts. And that is the biggest thing I've been stressing to you guys over the last couple days as we've been watching the model guidance. We can easily wake up tomorrow morning and this be shifted a little bit further to the west. We know there's going to be a recurve. It's just when does the recurve happen? So, like I said, just a lot of things to figure out over the next couple of days here, and we'll keep you guys updated with that. But like I said, tomorrow, if you live in Texas, if I have any people in Texas, we do have Hurricane Hunter planes out in Texas in that storm down there into the Gulf, and we've also got the ones out there right now. I want to briefly touch on Invest 98L because this may become Tropical Depression 3 or whatever it would be. This is sitting down in the Southern Gulf right now. We were watching this yesterday in the Yucatan, crossed over the Yucatan last night. This is a pretty good looking blob of convection, I will not lie. This is expected to move into northern Mexico and southwestern Texas tomorrow morning. So this system will already be coming ashore tomorrow in Texas around this time frame. And we will be live tomorrow morning. If you live in southern Texas, I'll be doing coverage for this because more than likely, we've got the Hurricane Hunter planes that are actually out there in this right now. We will probably get a tropical depression before today is over with out of this. This is why you have to watch the tropics, guys, so closely, because when things are not being seen on models, you have to look at the real picture. You have to look at what's actually happening on satellite imagery, because yesterday we weren't expecting this to be an issue. The Hurricane Center put an AOI out yesterday at a 20% chance. Now we have a 40% chance. Take a look at this, guys. We have a 40% chance here of a tropical system developing by tomorrow morning outside of Texas here. So, like I said, if you're in southern Texas, no, you're not getting a hurricane. This is not going to have time to strengthen into a hurricane. If anything, this would be a tropical storm at least, or at the higher end scenario. We're going to get a lot of rain. I'll get to those totals here in just a second. We'll take a look at that in just a moment here. Like I said, a lot of the models are even struggling still getting onto this here. So we got some of the hurricane models that are showing a tropical storm at some point. If you're in Houston down towards the southern Texas area, you're going to get some rain. I don't think this is going to be hopefully anything near the last time we had rainfall push up that was tropical related. But right now, like I said, it just depends on the evolution of this. Like I said, right now, most of the models have it kind of going in this direction right here. This will be by tomorrow morning. We'll have this system landfalling. And like I said, we've got Hurricane Hunter planes in there right now. Once this, if this does meet that wind field description and we get 35 to 40 plus mile per hour winds, they'll designate this and we might even get a cone. So I wouldn't be shocked to get a cone by tonight. So when one thing's happening with another area of the tropics, something else typically goes to get happening. So once again, this is why we've got to watch it very, very closely here. Erin is more than likely not going to make landfall. I'm not saying no yet because there's still some models that are suggesting it. A very, very low end scenario. We're talking 5 to 10% chance right now, if anything. And if there were to be a landfall, it would be more than likely South Carolina or North Carolina. But most of the guidance has this recurve being out to sea. So I'll know more of an answer, like I said, on that in about 2 days. Once these ensembles get into that 5-day range, it's just too close to call right now. I don't know the answer to that. Nor does any other meteorologist know the answer to that. We just don't know. So, like I said, we know more on probably what's going to happen with this little thing down into Texas tomorrow than what's going to happen off in Erin. So, more than likely, like I said, we're going to be watching this system hopefully recurve. It's what happens after Erin with the tropics that I'm really starting to watch, because it looks like our ridge is going to reset back up and we're going to see some tropical waves. Some of the model runs are already hinting at something coming next week, toward the end of next week, again, off of the African coastline. So like I said, if you guys live on the coast, if you live in the Gulf, if you live in the East Coast, it is that time of the year. I can't do nothing but tell you guys to be prepared. We're going to be watching a lot of the systems. We're going to be covering every single system live here. So if you guys need that weather coverage, we got you guys covered. We'll also be tracking severe weather tomorrow again in the plains. I'll talk about that here in just a few minutes, but we'll be on here probably fresh tomorrow, early tomorrow morning, covering this landfall, regardless if it gets a name or not. The next name on the list would be Ferdinand. So we'll be seeing if that does in fact happen here. I'll pull this up too because I want you guys to see this. Let me go back to the information tab on this here. So a lot of the models, this is the hurricane models, they do have a landfall in Texas tomorrow. So we may have a landfalling storm coming out of nowhere tomorrow from Texas. And so once again, like I said, we had a blob of convection yesterday, just kind of sitting off the Yucatan. This moved northwestern of the Gulf last night. And now we've got the potential for a tropical depression or low-end tropical storm to make landfall in southern Texas tomorrow morning. So like I said, if you are in southern Texas, Brownsville, Corpus Christi, this will bring moisture to the north. And I hate to absolutely say this, but to the people that are recovering up here in like Kerrville, Texas, from all the major flooding, you guys are going to get some rain from this. That moisture is going to have to get pushed to the northwest here. So how much rainfall, how much of all that's what that's going to do, we'll know more answers tonight. I'm going to do another live update for you guys tonight around 10 o'clock. A lot of the models quite haven't yet rendered in the idea that we've got a system out here in the Gulf right now. No, this is not going to be like Milton or anything else. This isn't going east. This is going to go straight northwest. So this will be making landfall either as an invest, a tropical depression, or a tropical storm by tomorrow morning or midday-ish. So most of the models do agree on that, which is a good thing because we're in that window here. And you look at the intensity track too. This is something I look at. Most of them have it at below tropical depression status, but you got a couple here that try to show a tropical storm getting going here, the shipping models. But we'll have more of our rendering models actually come in tonight once this gets officially through. We'll have to see what happens here. So yeah, so there has been some drought in areas that did see flooding because that flooding happened so quickly, and then you guys enter a dry period afterwards. So hopefully we just don't get a lot of rainfall where issues are going to be made at. But you can see the GFS ensembles do agree in at least a tropical depression potentially here, and then moving north. I will mention as well, if this storm were to start to get outer bands, there may be a tornado problem tomorrow. We're going to look more into that tonight and see if that does in fact happen. But there definitely could be a tornado issue tomorrow in southern Texas with outer bands on the dirty side of this once this moves north here. We're just going to have to start to see if this starts to develop a broadening low or anything like that. So I'll be looking at all that tonight behind the scenes. How do you see the strength that you just looked at? It's just on Tropical Tidbits. This is a free website you guys can use. Just like we're looking at Erin. Erin is forecast to become a Cat 4 hurricane. We are going to see Erin attempt to become a Cat 4 hurricane by the end of this weekend, if not pushing Cat 5 status. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, there are a million weather creators out there, non-weather creators that are giving out false information and BS. We keep it real. We give you guys the real information here on the channel. If you need that, definitely follow with us. I appreciate you guys. But no, this is not going to be a Cat 5 hurricane hitting the East Coast inland and causing, horrific problems. A lot of people are saying that because they don't know how to read ensembles and they don't know how to read correct information that's given to them. They just want to fearmonger and make money. So that's not what we do here. So be mindful of what you guys see. For all of these people that were posting videos all week saying a Cat 5 is coming to Florida, that's not the case here. Those people also don't know what they're talking about. There's just a lot of false information and fear-mongering that goes on with hurricane season, and it's absolute insanity, and I cannot stand it. So, yes, we have recon in right now, and it's funny, too, because the National Hurricane Center this morning actually, upgraded this to a 60-mile-an-hour warning. We've yet to see anything close to the wind speed that the National Hurricane Center set it at this morning. I appreciate that, Mimi. That means a lot. We keep it real here, guys. If you want reliable weather coverage, we got you. We don't do that fake bullcrap. Sorry, I don't do that here. If you are here for fear mongering or you want some crazy worst case scenarios to happen, I don't do that here. You're going to find that elsewhere on social media. I don't do that. So, I am not, guys, I want you guys to understand. I am not a degreed meteorologist. I'm in school for meteorology. I've been doing weather streams and weather coverage and weather content for over 8 years. I've never once used that in my content or anything. So, you guys are reliable weather coverage here. You've also got an amazing weather team that I have that's got over 40 members that sit in stream and answer questions for you guys and give y'all information. They are taught by me. I've also got a lot of other Mets that will come in my streams and have a lot of respect for what I do, as well as a lot of storm chasers. So you don't find that anywhere else. So I got you guys covered, I promise. We're not going to be doing any of that stuff. I'm also very sick right now, if you guys can't tell as well, so I'm on here doing this while I'm sick for you guys. So I got you guys, I promise. By the way, I wanted to say a real quick shout out. Good to see my members over on YT. Also, Haley, got Ethan, Justin, Dalton, all you guys over on YT. I appreciate you guys. We are also live on YT for my people that are on TikTok. If you want to head over there, you can as well. Up to you. But I do appreciate you guys as always. This is the recon. So we have hurricane hunters inside Erin right now. I have yet to see a wind gust over 45 miles per hour inside this storm yet. So it makes me a little bit interested to see what this is going to be here in a little bit. And the latest National Hurricane Center advisory was putting this at 60 mile per hour wind. So I wonder if they were using ASCAT this morning and it went, the winds weren't actually what they were forecasting, which we may be looking at a weaker Erin right now instead of a stronger Erin, which is interesting. So I'll be curious to see the update. We're actually going to get, guys, in about 53 minutes. I'm going to stay on here until 5 o'clock Eastern time for this update, but we're going to get in about 53 minutes a new cone update and a new strength update. So that will be interesting to see what they're getting inside Erin right now as we're kind of watching this render. I think a Cat 4 or Cat 5 is on the table. I really do. If this thing hits Cat 1 hurricane status by tonight or early tomorrow morning, which it's very possible, it probably will, and we undergo rapid intensification, 1 or 2 cycles between tomorrow and Sunday, we could be looking at a Cat 4 plus coming off the Puerto Rico area by Monday. It's very, very possible. The water temperatures are very, very warm. We're very above average. There's not going to be a lot of shear out there. That's something we're going to be watching very, very closely. So... Oh, this is the wrong invest. Yeah, it is. You're right, Aiden. I just now noticed that. That recon is actually inside the one in the Gulf, so that was my bet on that. So we don't have recon yet in Erin, I don't think. I appreciate you for saying that. I appreciate that, Aiden. I don't know why I thought that for whatever reason. So actually looking at this recon that is inside Invest 98L that is sitting in the Gulf, we might be getting close to tropical depression status. I would not be shocked to see advisories start getting issued on this here in the not too distant future. Erin's advisories. Erin will have a recon in later on this afternoon. I think they said 4 o'clock is when they were going out, which should be here in the not too distant future. So we should start to see that. So Erin may actually be approaching hurricane status here soon. We'll see what happens. Just looking at Erin right now, very, very impressive looking storm, guys. This is about as good as it gets for a tropical storm. This is expected to become a hurricane by tomorrow morning. That cone on the top left of your screen up there has a major hurricane by Sunday, Saturday or Sunday here. And then we'll kind of just see what happens beyond that point. So, very, very interesting. I'm telling you guys, I love hurricane season just because we get to see storms like this and kind of see what they do. I don't like hurricane season because it impacts people. That's the only thing I don't like about it. No, it's not going to Florida. No, Florida has like a 5% chance of a landfall. It's very, very low. I appreciate that, Aiden. I don't know why I thought, for whatever reason, that, yeah, it didn't match up. Thank you for that. I'm sick, guys. Bear with me. I'm not fully quite yet there. Not quite yet there. Alrighty. So, once again, we will see what happens. Once again, that's the latest update. Just briefly, I want to run over the Storm Prediction Center website here because we do have some severe weather forecasted today and tomorrow for the upper plains in the Midwest. We do have a level 2 slight risk today for western Minnesota and eastern portions of North Dakota and South Dakota with a marginal risk out over the plains. I talked about this in my video today. 2% tornado risk today, not looking at anything too crazy. Northwestern Minnesota, eastern North Dakota, and eastern South Dakota do have a low-end tornado risk today, about 2% chance with every 25 miles of a given point. Wind threat is at 15 and 5%, and then the hail threat is hatched today for hail up to 2+ inches in diameter. We'll keep you guys updated on that. And then we get to tomorrow's setup, and we do have a higher chance of seeing severe weather tomorrow. We'll be covering this tomorrow as we cover that system down in the Gulf. But Minneapolis, Minnesota tomorrow, La Crosse, Green Bay, slight risk / marginal risk for severe weather. We actually have a 2% tornado risk tomorrow in Minneapolis, west of Green Bay there at La Crosse. You're in that wind threat tomorrow at 15 and 5% and hail threat at 15 and 5. And we'll kind of talk more about that. I will let you guys know the models for today just are really showing a stronger capping. So we may see storms. We may not see storms up here today. It's not that favorable of an environment today. We'll just kind of see what happens. And then tomorrow we'll be looking at some damaging winds, some hail, and then possibly a couple tornadoes tomorrow. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. But I'm going to keep this mostly tropics on this stream today. So. Elizabeth, what do you mean? If the models are so good? So, guys, computer models struggle sometimes with tropical systems depending on if they're moving a certain direction before they're forecasted to. There's a lot that goes into computer models, and models are always going to have error. That's always how it is, especially when you're looking at, like confidence 7 days out. What the system's going to do after 5 days is very, very low. We don't know when it's going to recurve. There's about 1 million factors that rely into this system recurving than not. If we were looking at this storm going straight west, then the northeastern curving, we would know this would hit Florida if it was going straight west, but it's not. There's a trough to the north that's going to pull it to the north. There is a high pressure that's weakening over in Bermuda that's going to pull it to the north, and there's a ridge up in the northern United States that's going to pull it to the north. So there's a lot of different factors. It's just how strong or how weak is the system, and when does that recurve happen? We don't know that answer. Hurricane hunters are there to give strength and to kind of show what it's actually doing. So they drop soundings into the clouds there. They give us readings of what the wind speed is, where the wind speed is moving. That gets plugged into computer models. But even then, we're still relying on Erin to move that track that forecast is showing. And if Erin were to, have something develop on the side of it or to the north of it, and it gets tugged to a different direction than what's forecasted, then that throws off your whole entire forecast at that point. So that's why the error during tropical season is so hard. That's why we're always updating. That's why the cone is so big, because of that margin for error. We're never going to be able to forecast a tropical storm or hurricane over 5 days out, let alone 4 days out, with precise confidence. It's just how it is. That's why we always tell you guys to be prepared in that 5 to 7 day window in case something happens. The storms can flip in a heartbeat. It's not like severe weather where we can forecast it a week out. With these type of systems, especially with these that are so close to land and going to have different things that are pulling and tugging on it to move it, was the reason why. So yeah, guys, we'll go back to the disturbance. So once again, if you are in Texas or Mexico, we have 98L sitting down here in the southern Gulf. This is expected to move north into northern Mexico and Texas tomorrow morning. We could have an invest become a tropical depression here. We could be looking at, I'm going to actually use a different satellite here because this is a little weird. We could be looking at a named storm tomorrow or tonight. It's very, very possible. Recon is in there right now trying to get an idea on what this is going to be doing. Most of the models do have this lovely blob going this direction right here. So we will have a landfalling system tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. I will probably, guys, if you guys are okay with it, I will probably do a very, very brief TikTok update tomorrow video. And then we're going to hop right on here tomorrow and we're going to cover this because landfall will be happening tomorrow morning with this system. So if you guys are cool with me not doing a super long video tomorrow, that way I can get on early and do coverage for you guys, I will do that. NC Cone update will be in about 30 minutes. That's what I'm staying on here for. We're going to stay on here until the 5 o'clock advisory comes in, so. We'll see what happens. I appreciate all the follows, by the way, guys. Is the hurricane going to North Carolina? Hopefully not. Hopefully we get that recurve before it gets anywhere close, but I don't know the answer to that. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen after Sunday, really. So we know it's going to curve. It's just when does that recurve happen? Could this storm come to Houston? I don't think so. Most of the ensembles have it to the southwest. The good thing is, guys, about the system in the Gulf is the fact that it's going to literally be moving inland tomorrow. We got a pretty good idea on what's going to happen with this one. I'm pretty confident as well on 98L moving north. It's just, is it going to get, are we going to see a tropical storm or a depression, or is it going to stay in invest? So most of the models here, the GFS ensembles, have a landfall in Mexico and then bringing the moisture up into Texas. And I want you guys down here in southern Texas to know you will be on the dirty side. So there more than likely will be outer convection that could bring some tornado warnings. Tomorrow we'll have maybe a little bit of storm surge. I wouldn't be shocked to get a cone. I wonder if they're going to issue a cone on this. Because if this gets tropical depression status, they'll have to issue advisories. We may get... if this were to, pick up in intensity, we could get tropical storm warnings on the Texas border. It's very possible. I won't rule it out. It's very, very much possible. Is this from the went through the Cape Verde Islands? And yes, it is. The Erin is. Erin is that one that did that. This is the one in the Gulf here. So this is the recon in there right now. I want to see if they got. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. We should be getting an update here very, very soon. I wanted to see if they got any top pressure readings yet on this. They're flying into the center right now. I can actually pull this up, and we can look at this here in just a second. I wouldn't say so. Invest 98L doesn't have a lot of time. We're talking 24 hours at bare minimum to get itself together. There's a lot of convection with this, so it's very, very impressive. Outer convection here is very, very decent. There's not a lot of spin quite yet with this. I think the low might be somewhere in here. I'm gonna wait until they officially say something on it. Hold on a second. Let me go. So we got hurricane hunters inside the invest here. They're going to fly through and do a reading on the pressure in just a second on this, which is really cool. If you guys have Radar Omega, you can see this live as it's happening, which is pretty cool. All right, I cannot see comments because this person is sharing it so many times. So I'm going to fix that. This hurricane hunters are inside they are inside invest right now. Erin will be next. All right. Yeah, there is lots of warm water in the Gulf there. The thing about this one is this is going to take, it's going to take some time. Now, like I said, I was looking at over here. We got some higher wind gusts around 35 to 33 knots. So we could be looking at a tropical depression. It's very, very possible. We'll see if they issue an advisory on it on the next update at 5. If not, it'll be 11 o'clock tonight. It's a very short window, very, very short window. So Texas will start to see some impacts from this later on tonight. We can actually take a look too. Let me see. Did they get that? Pressure was, I believe, down here. So the southern load. No, it's northern loaded almost, I believe. There ain't no way this is 994 millibars. Aiden, can you fact check me? Is this below 999? There's no way. I think that's just mid-latitude from where the plane was at. Oh, the aircraft. Okay, sorry. The aircraft was 995. I was about to say for a second. That wasn't right. Yeah, their aircraft is at 995. Never mind. I corrected myself. We're good. We're good. So we'll see what this does here when they run back through it. Let's look at models really quickly here and see if we can get an idea on rainfall with this. Because now I'm curious on what this is going to do. Let's see if the NAM 3K is picking up on it a little bit more. Brian, you just have to click the little dots and it'll show you the wind speed and the pressure that it's at, the little dots. So the models aren't even still picking up on the rainfall totals from this, which is also really interesting. We'll have to wait for tonight's runs, I guess, to come in. I don't think the Euro is showing it either. Let me see if rainfall totals are popping up. Yeah, models aren't picking up on a lot of rain from this yet. So until this gets a little bit closer and more organized, we'll have a better idea on what's going to happen with this in terms of rainfall rates. I'm not too certain on that yet in Texas. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. So we're just going to wait on a new hurricane update, a new advisory to come in, which should be in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Recon is in there now. Take a look at some of the information coming in here. Looks like they've gotten pressure around between 1,000 and 1,005. So that's close to tropical depression status, surprisingly. We'll see. All right, we'll go back over here to Erin for a minute while we wait on that. There's Tropical Storm Erin, expected to become a hurricane here soon. Yeah, Dalton, it's just raw data. The recon, basically, they're going out there and they're dropping soundings in, and they're giving us raw data that gets plugged into that. So, like the wind speeds, the track, where it's going, it updates the track and the intensity models to kind of simulate the models that night on where they're going to run at with it. It's just basically plugging raw data. It's like the weather balloons when you get weather balloon launches in the mornings in the atmosphere up in like the West Coast or something like that. You're basically just plugging that raw data in. Yeah, I mean, Erin's doing Erin things. Like I said, the good thing is this is going to hopefully stay out to sea, which is what we're hoping for here. But that is Erin doing its thing right now. This thing's going to look a hell of a lot different, guys, in a couple days. It is going to look like a monster hurricane in a couple days. So, yeah, like the recon missions are very important. Without recon, we're just relying on models to simulate this. We need that raw data to get the better idea of what this storm is doing. Because if you go out there and, you know, if the National Hurricane Center is using ASCAT or some of these other simulations to kind of figure out what the strength of the storm is based on satellite imagery or based off of wind speeds from satellites and models, then, and you go out there and you get a recon data that shows the storm stronger than what it is or weaker than what it is, that's going to have a whole huge ultimate trend in the intensity and where the storm goes. So some of these convection models, let me see if the HWRF is showing. Let's look at the HWRF real quick. So this is the HWRF kind of simulating where this could go. Don't rely on these guys. These are models, so you know, don't hold true to these here, but you can kind of see, you know, what it's going to do. Some of the models here do take a southern track. So this is what I don't want to see. We got some of the models that do want a southern track, and then kind of a northward jog here. This is by the 17th, so in 3 days. So if you're down in Puerto Rico, down here towards San Juan, you're going to have outer bands potentially with this. This is just a model run. And then this is what a lot of the models have been doing is they've been shifting in favor of a western cone track here. So I wouldn't be shocked to see the cone get shifted to the west a little bit. A lot of the HWRF, the HMON, the HAFSB and A have also been showing that as well. Both the European and the Icon have done it as well. I don't expect this to go to Florida. This is not going to go to Florida. It should not go to Florida. But this will make a pretty big run. And you look at this and you're like, oh my God, it's going north. It's going north. No, it's not. There's going to be a recurve. How quickly does that recurve happen here? So you've got a lot of model runs showing a lot of different things. And like I said, it just depends on, you know, which side of the track that this is going to be on at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens. It just really depends on at the end of the day what we're looking at. So that's one run. Let's see here. Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. Here's the HMON. I believe also shows a western track shift. Yep. So most of these models are like in a western trend, and then you kind of go way up. You go western with it, which is interesting. That's why the cone is so wide, guys. If you're in the cone or outside the cone, this just counts for where the center could go. We could still see this thing shift as far east or as far west. So lots of things to figure out with these model runs, but both of them are simulating a major hurricane by Saturday or Sunday. So you guys get the gist here. We can look at this thing again on satellite because it is very impressive. So the sun's already setting on the East Coast here, on the East Coast, but on the out here in the Central Atlantic as well. So so we'll be watching that. We're also watching our invest over here. We got the recon in there. We'll see what the pressure is on this when they go through it again. Lots of convection on our blob over here. Has it made the northwest northwest turn yet? I think it has, but also I don't think it has yet. It looks like it is on a northwest track still. Kind of still looks west right now, so I'm curious to see the next update. We'll see. It still does look like it's going west, though, so. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It does still look west. It looks like it's south of the cone too, almost. That's what I was seeing earlier this morning too. It's shifting south of the cone. So we'll get a new cone update here in just a few minutes. Yep, I got you guys. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll have another update tonight at 10. So, no, I don't think it's going to hit Delaware. No, 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 no. No, no, no. So we should be getting that 5 o'clock update in here pretty soon. Puerto Rico should hopefully have a near miss. That would be good. Most of the higher winds should stay to the north of you guys, at least as of right now. That can change, so that's why you got to stay tuned in. All right, I can't see, guys. If you're gonna come in and spam share, I appreciate the sharing. Don't spam share because I can't see the comment section when people spam share over and over. All right. What's up, Bryn? Good to see you. Once again, guys, we're not expecting any landfalls on the East Coast right now. I don't think that will happen. It's still possible, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. So I'll go back out here so you guys can see what we're looking at. So there is the Central Atlantic. There's Erin. There's a broader view. Yeah, there are a couple more waves that are coming off the coast behind it. Yes, there are currently. We're going to watch those and see what happens with those as well. Bear with me, guys, too. I'm still very sick. I don't know what I got sick with, but I'm sick from yesterday, so I'm stuffy. I have a sore throat, so I'm trying to just pull through it. No, it's not coming straight for the Gulf. No. Just because the storm looks like it's trending west, guys, doesn't mean it's going to go straight into the Gulf or straight anywhere else. So this will be heading towards, this will be doing a recurve out to sea. Yeah, I saw Saturday too, Justin. You're in that marginal risk over there. So once again, this is the cone that we have thrown up here. This is where it's supposed to go. It's going to start moving northwest, hopefully here soon. And then eventually it will be on a recurve out to sea. It's not going out to the Gulf, guys. That's not a scenario. None of the models or the ensemble show that. So once again, just because a system looks like it's going west or it looks like it's going to go somewhere doesn't mean that's ultimately where it's going to go. I actually do believe that because all of our models support that. So you can't go off of conspiracy theories and say that it's going to go to the Gulf when it's not. I believe what my ensembles and my models show me and what my knowledge tells me. You got all these people out here doing conspiracy theories and fear-mongering saying it's going to go to the Gulf when it's not, when they have no idea what they're talking about. I've been doing weather coverage, guys, for over 8 years. I promise I know what I'm talking about. If it was going to go to the Gulf, I'd say it was going to go to the Gulf, but it's not. You can't just come in the chat and say it's going to go to the Gulf and it's not. That's not how that works. Sorry. Thank you guys for all the gifts, by the way. I appreciate it. Will it hit the U.S.? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. The odds are very, very small right now, though. Very, very low chances. We can't say no, but we can't say yes. There are still some ensembles out there that are outliers. It brings it very close. More than likely, what's going to happen is this is more than likely going to be an in-between Bermuda East Coast thing. It's typically what we've been seeing with our trends here since we're over 5 days out with this. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm in Western Kentucky, Yucca. I'm year 2. I mean, it's not going to hit the Northeast, guys. There's not really any support for it hitting the Northeast. There's going to be rip current issues, and there's going to be wave issues, wave height issues for the East Coast from Florida up. But we're not expecting any landfalls right now. So we're going to wait on this update here. We'll see what our 5 o'clock does. 5 o'clock should be coming in here in just a few minutes. That's what we're waiting on. I just had somebody named Erin follow. I love that. Yeah, the surf is going to be wild. Let me see if I can get a simulation. So this was the... Let me go to the European and the GFS, and I'll show you guys the differences here on the swells. We should have a wave. I may have to go to... Let's do it this way. I love that, Erin. I love that for you. That's crazy. Yeah, let's look at the waves. Let me zoom in to the East Coast here, and you guys can see the wave heights. So this is the GFS. So even with the guys, even with Erin specifically, if it were to go out further out to sea here, what the GFS is suggesting, there's still going to be wave heights of 10 to 15 feet along the East Coast. So like I said, the wave heights are going to be the problem. The rip currents and the wave currents are going to be the issue. That's what it's going to be. Like I said, we're not expecting a Cat 4, Cat 5 hurricane to slam into the East Coast and make a landfall. That's not what we're seeing right now. There is some ensemble run outliers that do suggest a very close impact, but there is not a single one model that has suggested a landfall. So that's, like I said, we're watching an East Coast scooter here is what we're seeing as of right now. So those are some wave impacts. That's the GFS there. I believe the Euro is also, European's a little bit closer, so it's going to bring those higher wave impacts there, but you can see getting closer to around 10, 15, 20 feet. So, you know, that's going to be, like I said, the issue here is those wave the wave heights here. Like I said, how far west does it go? How far east does it go? We'll find out in a couple days. Yeah, so, and then back to Invest 98L, guys. 98L is supposed to move inland into Mexico and Texas tomorrow. It will not be like Milton. It's not going to strengthen into a Cat 5 hurricane. I don't know why people think that, guys. What is that? Why is that a thing? People think because a previous storm was in the Gulf and it became a Cat 5 hurricane doesn't mean that this is. The Invest that's over in the Gulf has less than 36 hours to get itself together before it moves inland. Like, that's crazy to me. You guys got some crazy, wild ideas today in the chats. I know that's crazy. Like, guys, why? Why is that a thing? People will just come in and just spit out the most random stuff. It just blows my mind every single time. And like I said, I've covered hurricane season for 6 years, and there's nothing that works that's worse than hurricane season. It doesn't. Guys, this is Invest 98L over here. It's going to be moving into Texas and Mexico by tomorrow morning. We're either going to get a tropical depression or it's going to stay in Invest, or it might even get a tropical storm status at higher in scenario, but this is not going to become a major hurricane. Just because the waters in the Gulf are very, very warm doesn't mean it's going to rapidly intensify into a Cat 5 hurricane in one day. That's not how that works either. This system's got to develop a low. It has to undergo intensification. It takes a whole process for a storm to go from a nothing burger into a big burger. So just be careful what you guys put in chat, because sometimes stuff doesn't make sense. Wilmington will have some rip current issues, the beach as well. All right, we're just waiting on this advisory to come in. Once this advisory comes in, we'll run over it. I promise, guys, if there was a concern for a major hurricane in the Gulf or something coming towards the U.S. and it making landfall, I would tell you guys. Like, I'm not afraid to say things that need to be said. I'm also not going to overhype, and I'm not going to underhype. I don't do either one of those. I give you guys the facts, the reliable information that's literally put out in front of us. You guys can... The crazy thing is, guys, is you guys can literally check all these websites. It's free. NHC.com is where they issue the advisories, where all the cones come out, all of that. Tropical Tidbits has the satellite imagery, it has the models. I mean, literally, you could literally do what I do. You just have to know how to comprehend the information and know what you're talking about. It's all public information. It's what people transition or translate it to. I mean, you guys are going to see it, like I said, on social media a lot. You got all these people that don't do weather content or that only come out and do weather content during hurricane season because they know it can make them money and they know they can fearmonger. You got people posting model runs over 7 days out that show major hurricanes coming into the East Coast. Or better yet, here's a good one. Here's a great example. They'll show a hurricane from last year or years before and say, oh, this is Erin. It's coming into the East Coast when it doesn't even make sense. So there's a lot of fear mongering out there. And as somebody that's in school for meteorology and that does weather on a daily basis and does it for the right reasons, it's something I battle every day and it's something I'm going to battle every day for the rest of my life because that's how people are. But people want to make money on social media. They're going to post anything they can to make money. So it's just you guys as the public understanding to not buy that or believe that information and trust somebody that actually knows what they're talking about. It's not a bad thing. I get people that come in the chat all the time that say, oh, this person said this. Is this right or not? And I'll tell them the truth. And then they still don't believe me, which makes no sense. But anyways, yeah. We're going to get our advisory on Erin here in a minute. Right now it's at 60 mile per hour winds, pressure at 999, moving west at 17 miles per hour. So still on a westerly track right now. Guys, this isn't going to be anywhere on the East Coast until Wednesday next week, Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So we still got about 5 or 6 days. Yeah, very, very early to tell right now. Yeah, it's still moving pretty fast at 17 miles per hour to the west there. So we are seeing, I believe this has started a west-northwest trend here. I believe we are starting to see that shift northwest now. So it's just how far to the northwest does it move in the next 48 hours is the biggest question. That's what we're kind of waiting to see have happen. So can I check Minnesota to see if things are initiating? Absolutely. We do have one little severe thunderstorm warning over here into Minnesota. We do have a little severe weather risk today over here into the Midwest. Got a storm over here north of Montevideo. This is going to be for 1-inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds. So not a big day today in the plains, just enough to cause some issues. But we'll be keeping you guys updated on that as well. Let me see if they got a run through on this. I'm very interested to see this next update. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Guys, once again, this is not expected to hit the northeast coast. It's just going to be moving. It's going to brush by. That's the plan right now. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know, but I just don't see that happening. Should be getting this new advisory in any minute. That's what I'm just waiting on, the 5 o'clock update. We'll get a new cone and everything with it. And then I'm going to get off and I'm going to get some rest because I am tired and I don't feel good and I'm sick. You guys get a sick Mesomat today. Yeah, we'll watch Saturday. Justin, I'll see tomorrow what models do for it and see. We'll kind of go from there. So I'll be doing another live update tonight, guys, at 10 p.m. And then tomorrow, we'll be covering that system tomorrow as it goes into Texas. So yeah, I've been drinking tea. I've had some soup. My head feels like it's gonna explode. All right, let me see here what Recon's doing. Yeah, so still maybe right below tropical depression status. Well, they might go PTC with it too in the future. We'll see what they do. Does the system in the Gulf have a big threat to Houston? I wouldn't say big threat. Most of it's going to be southern Texas, like far southern, like Brownsville, Corpus Christi area south. And then most of it may go into Mexico. So we'll know more tonight as the low develops. So I'm kind of looking at it, the new data coming in. It's definitely organizing here for sure. So this is going to be heading this direction. Yeah, dude. I just feel like I feel like crap today. Oh my gosh. I feel like awful. But like I said, this is my job, so my job is to do my job even when I don't feel good for you guys. So I'm still on here to give you guys updates because it seems to be every time we have something crazy happening, I get sick. Every time. No, there's not a lot of dust out there now. This is a very interesting area to watch. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all the follows. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty. So once again, we're just gonna wait on this update. We'll see what they do. Should be any few minutes now. We're 19 minutes away from the 5 o'clock advisory. That's what I'm waiting to see. No, this isn't gonna turn into Houston. No, it shouldn't. Should not. It's crazy they only gave it a 40% chance when it's literally trying to develop. Falling from Orlando, let's go. Heck yeah. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. It always fails. It never fails. I always get some wild comments during the streams during hurricane season. People just I think tropical season or hurricane season is just sometimes really hard to comprehend, and it's not a bad thing. Not everybody's a weather nerd or understands how things work. So that's my job, is to give you guys that information and explain it. That way you guys can understand it. Some people think of a satellite imagery has got a system going westward, then that's the path it's going to stay on until it's gone. That's not how that works. There's steering currents. There's things underneath the hood of tropical weather or tropical systems that I have to explain so people can understand, which is my goal to do that to you guys. So, yeah, there is a lot of complex things that go on with tropical season. How's Ohio look? Ohio looks great. Not much going on. I need this update to come out. Jesus. New York is fine, guys. New York is fine. I don't know why everybody's so worried on the Northeast coast up there. You guys are going to be fine. Decent waves, if anything. Yeah, North Georgia, Western North Carolina, you guys are fine. Sophie, not expecting any impacts for you guys. Should be getting that 5 o'clock advisory here any minute. They worry because oh, I get that 100%. I get that 100%. I get it. Listen, if you have trauma from storms, it is 100% understandable. That's my job, is to explain to you guys. Alrighty, I'm looking at a couple things here. I wouldn't be shocked to see when we get closer to next week, I wouldn't be shocked to see the cone go as far as the east coast of North Carolina. I could see the cone being put for eastern North Carolina to cover the uncertainty. And it will just see what happens, but that won't probably happen until closer to the end of the week. And there is our update right there. We now have tropical storm watches for the Leeward Islands, and we are expected to have Hurricane Erin by tomorrow. So wind field did not change. We're sitting at 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's 15-mile-per-hour winds shy of hurricane status. Pressure has dropped from 999 to 998, and it is still moving west at 17 miles per hour. So we have not started that northwestern shift yet. So we now have tropical storm watches for the Leeward Islands. I'll pull that new cone up here in just a moment once it updates. It's not going to be like Irma. It's not. Irma had a bunch of other factors. Unlike this one, this has to get pulled to the north. It has to. There is not anything that can steer this thing past the Bahamas West. There's not a single ensemble or model run that pulls this taking an Irma track. Yeah, the Gulf one's still in the same, correct. Yeah, they won't issue advisories on the other one until it gets officially determined as a tropical depression. So we'll just be watching that thing on satellite. We'll get a cone update here in just a moment. Yeah, the cone, the margin for error inside the cone is not as bad as it used to be anymore. I know a lot of people have trauma from Irma. That was Irma. That was 8 years ago. That was 8 years of technology that has been gained since. I don't see this. I know a lot of people worry about it, and a lot of people try to relay other storms that have happened in the past to it. But no, I think a recurve is more than likely here. We'll see what the cone does here in a minute when they update this. So this is the cone right now. We're just waiting on the new one to come out. So we'll see here in just a second. Let me see if the forecast discussion calls for it. So the hurricane hunters are now en route to Erin. That is put in the description here. We're supposed to have a hurricane by tomorrow. I'm just reading the wording here. Okay, so the track did shift south a little bit. It's a little bit of a nudge south through 72 hours, and then a little nudge to the west, as expected, to cover the previous track of 96. So we did see a southwest shift in our cone, which is what I thought would happen, given the model ensembles that we saw today. And it says this, there is still a greater than normal uncertainty about what impacts Erin might bring to portions of the Bahamas, the east coast of the United States, and Bermuda in the long range. We still don't know yet what's going to happen with that. That was stated in their messaging here. And it looks like this is going to get very, very close to Cat 4 status. Right at Cat 4 status on 120 hours out. It's going to be borderline 125. We'll see that new cone here in just a moment. All right, so that cone, yeah, so they shifted it a little bit further to the south and a little bit further to the west, but by the 19th, that will be, I believe, on Tuesday. Let me double check here. Yes, by Tuesday, we'll have a Cat 3 just east of the Bahamas. So there still is expected. I know it looks like it's going to go to North Carolina. It's probably not going to. The odds of that are very small. There will still be a recurve is what we're looking at. So we'll have more information over the next couple of days. But there was a shift west and a shift south in the cone. Just slightly. I'll pull that satellite up again so you guys can see it. So I'll have another update tonight for you guys at 10 p.m. Central Time with the latest cone. We are still seeing a trend west, and tropical storm watches have been issued now for the Leeward Islands. So it's not far off here. So we'll know more information here very soon, but that was to cover for the latest of the model runs that we've been seeing. So like I said, it looks like it's going to, and if you're looking at this and you don't have any knowledge on weather, and this is just me trying to explain it to you guys, it looks like it's going to go straight north, but it's not. There will be a recurve out to sea here. That is what is expected as of right now. If anything changes, I'll get on here and I'll let you guys know. There's still a chance it could hit the East Coast. It's very small. The odds are more in favor of a recurve out to sea. So Tampa's fine. Yeah, if you're in Florida, you guys are going to be fine. This is still way away from Florida. There will be wave impacts. If there were to be a chance of landfall, it would either be South Carolina or North Carolina, not Florida and not Georgia. It's way too far off the east. It has to curve. It has to curve, guys. The meteorology, there's so many things behind the scenes that make it recurve. There will not just be a west-northwest one. I am telling you guys that from the bottom of my heart. It has to recurve. If you want to believe, if there's people that want to believe conspiracy theories and think that it's going to Florida, then be my guest. You're going to look really awful at the end of the day if you think it's going to Florida. Our technology suggests that it will be going on a recurve. So we will see what happens over the next couple of days as we watch it. We'll keep you guys updated as always. If anything changes, you guys will know first. So you guys don't need to be stressing or panicking. I'm here to give you guys that reliable weather information. But if people don't want to believe me and they don't want to take what I say seriously, then be my guest. You can go watch your local meteorologists that are probably doing the exact same thing that I am doing. So that is also fine. If there were a higher chance of this hitting the East Coast, I would tell you guys, but it's not. What is causing the recurve? Yep, so we've got I'll actually show you guys here real quick. Let's go based off the latest Euro run, because why not? No, there's not a hurricane heading to Texas. Oh my gosh, no. No, there would be at most a tropical storm. And that's southern Texas. Yes, projections change, guys, but ensembles and dermatistic model runs point to an out-to-sea curve. There's not a single ensemble or model run that has a storm making a landfall. There's not a single one. But yes, things can change. That is true. That is something we have to watch. That is why it's not set in stone. All right, let me show you guys here what we're looking at. So there's really three factors that are going to make this decision on where this is going to go. I'll pull up the height anomaly here so you guys can see. All right, so here's the thing. All right, let's take a look at this map. This is what we call the height anomaly. So you've got a low up here in Canada. You got a high over here in the plains, Midwest, whatever you want to call that. High over here. You got a Bermuda high over here. This is going to continue. Erin's going to continue to get pulled to the west, northwest here over time as this high pushes off to the east. So what you guys are going to see over time here is that ridge is then eventually going to break down. And it looks like to be that this trough that's coming up here out of Canada is going to dip down south, and it's going to pull Erin off to the east. Now, how quick does that trough come down, and how strong does this trough up here that we're watching is the big role player on how far west this goes or how far north this goes. So you can see Erin down here on Sunday, this coming up Sunday the 17th, still very close to the Bahamas here. There's a high over here. Once again, this trough coming down is what's going to pull Erin out to sea, depending on the strength, the weakness, all of that. There's not a single model run, Icon, European, I can name them all. There's not a single model run, and I've looked at them all that show a landfall right now. There's a couple outlier ensembles out of the 51, but majority of them right now still believe in a full recurve. So like I said, if things change, we'll keep you guys noted. This is the latest Euro run. It has a close call, and then it gets swooped out to sea. So that is what we're looking at, is how strong is this trough? When does it kick it out? When does that recurve happen? We'll have to wait and see. That is the European model run as of this afternoon. Here is the dermatistic GFS model run. Same scenario. Here we go again. GFS, a lot further out to sea. There it goes. You guys can see that there. There's a hole between the ridging, right? So you've got this trough that's going to pull it to the north, ridging, a break in our ridge here. It slides right through the weakness in the ridge. That is basic meteorology. So, Once again, we're looking at about 4 to 5 days out. So still got a lot of uncertainty on what's going to happen past Tuesday, Wednesday here, but we do know there's going to be a recurve. Like I said, it's just when does that recurve happen is the biggest thing. You can look at the icon. The icon is the only model that pulls this thing a lot closer toward the US, and the 18 is actually running now. So we'll look at that here later. The 12Z did have a closer call to the Bahamas and a closer East Coast chances here. That's what that cone shift was for, but then it gets pulled out to sea here. The eastern banks of Outer Banks in North Carolina would have those higher impacts there if that were to be a thing. So, and then you've got the Euro AI also showing kind of same thing, a recurve out to sea as well. So there's not a single model run, guys, that has a landfall anywhere in the US right now. It gets close, but most of the guidance has that further east. So you can believe me. You don't have to believe me. You can take what I say, whatever you want to say. Just know I'm giving you guys information that's straight from the books. It's that simple. There's still lots of time for this to change. We're going to keep you guys updated as it changes. It can go worse. It can get better. We'll see what happens. Like I said, if people don't like what I say, they can scroll on. It's just my input. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me go back here. So once again, that is that newest cone there. By 2 o'clock on Monday, actually by 2 o'clock Sunday, we'll have a major hurricane, and then that shift to the north there. So once again, recurve, how far west does it go, or how far east does it go, or does it stay central? We'll figure it out. So a lot of things to figure out, guys, over the next couple of days. But I'm going to have another update for you guys at 10 o'clock tonight. That is my plan, depending on how I feel. I'll post a video if anything changes, if we get a tropical depression in the Gulf. Remember, we are watching Invest 98L in the Gulf as well. This is expected to move northwest into southern Texas. And eastern portions of Mexico. By tomorrow morning, we could have a depression or storm. We'll see what happens with this over the next little bit of time here. Let me actually look, because the new icon's coming in. I'm curious on icon. See, the icon model, oh, that's the old run. Hold on. All right, icon still keeps it pretty close. I'll have to watch that come in behind the scenes. Once again, guys, this is not forecasted to make a landfall right now. I can't answer those questions, and I'm not going to answer those questions because it's too far out. I just cannot do that. That's not a thing. I don't know. So that's not something I can give you guys. Oh, the one in the Gulf will go inland. Yeah, the one in Gulf will go inland. We'll have to see what happens tonight. Bella, to answer that question as well, we don't know. If it's going to be close call, further out, we'll see. I don't know the answer to that either. I'm not going to be, like I said, guys, I'm not going to get on here and fearmonger or be skeptical and say it is or it's not when I don't have the data that backs that up. So, yeah, I think Florida's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about Florida. There'll be some rip current issues, but most outside of that should be okay. So, other than that, are you guys good to go? I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get some rest for a little bit because I'm sick and I don't feel good. I have a huge headache and a sore throat and a stuffy nose. But I'll be back on here tonight with you guys for another update around 10 p.m. Central Time. Like I said, if I need to push another video update out, I will. And we'll have coverage tomorrow for this system. Kind of go from there. So other than that, my peeps on YouTube, I appreciate you guys. My peeps on TikTok, thank you guys for all the follows, all the taps, all the gifts. My weather team, thank you guys for helping out as always. Weather team, heads up, we'll be getting with you guys. We may have a meeting tomorrow depending on how this works tonight. And I'll just update you guys in the Discord on kind of what happens from there. So other than that, be safe, guys. We'll see y'all in the next one. And I'm going to go get some rest. Goodbye.